Okay guys, so you want a little bit of help on how to do a video to do Karen's Let's Color the Candle. So I'm going to start off with a 3000 by 3000 page. You start off with whatever you're comfortable with. That's my go-to drawing page. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to actually make this a little bit sideways so I can actually draw a little bit more comfortable here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to choose black to draw with. And the first thing I do is I want to make sure that I have a just nice, smooth, thin brush to work with, or pencil, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to make it fairly small because I don't need anything big right now. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're just going to draw the little ellipse here. Nice and easy. Hold it, and it'll make the ellipse for you. If you need to edit it at all, edit it, that's hard to say. Edit it at all. I'm gonna make it kind of thin. You don't make it too fat there. Yeah, you can. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is just come along here and I'm gonna make the sides come down. And I'm gonna hold so that they're nice and straight. And again, I can always edit if I want it to come out a little bit more. All right. Click off to the side. I might do something on the other side. Now you can always just freehand these too. I'm just never very good at freehanding straight lines and stuff like that. So I use Procreate to its, full advantages. Edit a little bit because I want to bring him out just a tad. Okay. All right. Tap off to the side. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Being stubborn now. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the arc at the bottom. I'm going to hold and let it make an arc. Edit my shape. Make sure that I'm just touching there. Well, this actually came out pretty good. Okay. So that is just our basic shape. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to make a another ellipse right here in the side of this. Ooh. Well, I don't use the side of my pen. This is one of those pens that if I go sideways with, it'll make it thicker. Okay. Got my ellipse. I'm gonna edit it. In fact, I think I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. I'm a little bit taller candle. I usually make my candles a little bit further down, but I'll make this one. All right, go through here. All right, make sure I'm kind of straight. There we go. Okay, so now you truly have your basic shape. So next I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a layer above it. And I'm gonna go back to my layer one, and I'm gonna choose it to be a reference. All right. Then go back to my layer two. I'm going to choose a color. So I'm just going to choose this color. Okay. And I'm going to drop it in the middle. And I'm going to drop it down here. Now, a little trick that I learned was that if you go ahead and just lower this real quick to like a light gray, right? Making sure I'm still on layer two. And I'll make my brush a little bit bigger. I'm going to go ahead and color out this bottom one. And it just helps later on make your candle look smooth. Okay. So I've just got it all colored in here. Okay. Once I got that done, I'm going to move him to the bottom layer. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate him right now. All right. And I'm going to choose white. And I'm going to wait, and wait. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go ahead and make him fully opaque. And then I'm gonna even make the lines white, all right? There we go. Now, as you can tell, it's a little bit hard to see that, so we can always go to our background and just choose a different color for the background so we can see things right now. So there's my white. All right. At the moment, we can just click him off. We'll deal with him a little bit later, but I just wanted to go ahead and get it made. All right. So now I can take my reference off. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the little white ring up here. Okay. Easy peasy. I'm going to add a layer below my white. Okay. But you can go right above your reference. Since I've already got the white on, I'm going to move it again. I'm going to make about a medium here. That's a preference thing for you. You decide how big you want your rim. Right? Now this doesn't have to be perfect, but once you've created it, if you want to just get the basics of covering it, we're actually going to get rid of that bottom layer, the one that we've been referencing later on. So it doesn't have to cover it perfectly, but you can just get the best you can. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. Okay. I'm going to click that I'm on the bottom one. I'm going to change this to black. I come over and I'm going to drag and drop. So if I come here, I see I've got a white one and I'm on a black one. I'm on the black one right now. So I'm going to do a Gaussian blur with that. It's just going to make my rim stand up. See how it makes my rim stand up? Later, we're going to fade that white a bit, but I'm not going to deal with it at the moment until we have all of the elements drawn, and that's when I go back in and decide how I want to shadow things. All right, so I'm going to click off here. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to do another layer, and I'm going to make sure it's dropped below both rims. Okay, make sure I'm on black. I'm going to get a little bit thicker this time, and I'm going to go just down the side. If I hold it, I'll click and get that nice little straightness. Come down on this side, get that straightness. I'm going to go to my Gaussian blur, all right? And I want them fairly wide, so I'm going to blur it quite a bit, okay? So we'll work on how light or dark we want on again later on. But one thing I like to do is I'm going to click on this and I'm going to make sure that my Gaussian blur is all within inside those lines that I made, all right? And then I said later on we'll make it, you know, more opaque or more, yeah, that other word, transparent. Woo, it's been a long day. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more, and I'm going to pull him down underneath this layer. Still using my black, I'm going to do this bottom part here. So I've got an arc. Let it do its thing. I kind of like the size, so I'm not going to edit it at all. But if you didn't quite get it where you wanted, you could always edit. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and Gaussian blur that one out. And we will make it transparent here in just a little bit. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to do this inside here. And where I'm at right now, I'm just going to add one. All right. I'm going to make sure it's, you know, below my rings. Oops, I moved it. I'm sorry. Now I'm like moving you outside of the thing. I'm so used to being able to just pick up my iPad and move it wherever I want. I want to pick a color that's a little darker than what I have. Okay, so and I'm going to make an ellipse here in the middle again. All right, you can edit it to however big you think you might want it, how far out you might want it. This is a judgment call. All right, I'm giving you some idea here, but you can always do whatever you want. I'm going to drop this in the middle. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it. Make sure I'm on the bottom, and I'm going to do black. I'm going to drag and drop some black. Take my Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it underneath a little bit just to make it look like it's dropping inside there. Another trick I learned is to go ahead and go back to that colored layer and take it down just a bit. It darkens it just a little bit and it makes it sink in even a little bit more. Okay? So I need one more layer here, and I'm going to put it on top of this layer, the colored layer. Okay? I'm going to go back to my white, and I'm going to follow along on the outside. Okay? And then I'm going to Gaussian blur. And I may have made that a little too thick, but we'll see. Okay, and then I can always, again, you can resize it to however you need. And when we kick the layer off later, we'll play with this a little bit more. But right now, that looks pretty good to me. We can always, like I said, Gaussian blur it a little bit more, we'll take down the opacity. Okay, so now we're gonna go back, and we're actually gonna turn that white layer on top back on. Okay, and I'm gonna just drop it, and it gives me that nice glassy look. Okay, so you don't want it to be completely clear because you're like looking through glass, and glass isn't always completely clear. All right, so that gives me an idea of what we're looking at. Okay, and then I'm gonna go above this black, the two black lines that we did. I'm gonna keep my white, I'm gonna push it all the way up, and I'm gonna do this white line. Now, if it's not thick enough for you, it's not a big deal. You can always choose it and make it fatter. Okay. Now we're going to gauge and blur it out as well. Okay. And here's the great thing about this. If it's still not fat enough, you can always choose it again. If you like it a little bit fatter, you can make it even a little bit fatter. Okay. And now so we're going to start just kind of playing with our colors here. So I'm going to tone him down just a bit. So it's just kind of like a shine off from the glass there. Right? I'm going to tone these guys down just a bit. Again, these are all preference things of how you want it to look at this point. I'm going to tone him down quite a bit. I just want a little bit of shadow down there. All right. And then I'm going to play around with this little guy. These are the rings are the guys I always want to play around with. Right? Give him that little bit of glass. I don't want it to be white. I want it to look like the top of a glass. So that's not bad. I like that. Okay, so the final thing you need to do is you obviously need to flame in your candle. So I'm going to go back down to this level here, and I'm going to add just about where you did your color for the top inside your candle, and I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to go to my brushes. Now somewhere you'll have a brush that came with Procreate and they're under the elements, okay? It's kind of like a yin yang symbol down here, right? And there's one called Flame. I highly recommend finding like a dark orange because it's going to do an orange and it'll do like yellow in the middle, okay? And then you can just like, however you want to do your flame, you can, you know, like, you know, do something like that. If you decide you want a little bit lighter, you can always make it a little bit lighter in there because you're looking through the thing. You know, if you want it darker by chance, you can always duplicate it and it makes it stand out even more. So however you want to do it. All right, so my final thing I want to do is I'm going to go down to that original drawing we did and I'm going to click it off. All right, and this is where you can really see, do I need to make any adjustments? So for me, I'm not really fond of these. I'm going to make them go down just a bit more so it looks more like glass. So you get that, there's glass there. The black here, I don't like him either. I'm going to take him down a bit, and I'm also going to take the white down just a bit. As a matter of fact, I think I'm actually going to gauge and blur this white a little bit. So these are all, like I said, little preference things of what it is you really like, how you want it to look. But I've been able to give you the steps at least. I think on this guy too, I think I want him to come out just a bit. There we go. Like that a little bit more. All right, so there you go. I hope that was helpful. So now you can go back and make your own candle. And you know what, I'm gonna do one more thing just to show you guys. So now we can actually change this back to a white background and you can actually see what the candle looks like. I hope you enjoyed your time spending with me, and I can't wait to see all your guys' candles. Thanks, bye.